Hey, on the topic of the new figure and the new color scheme, when you look back at your career, are there any outfits or colors that you regret wearing?
It I don't think it would be possible if it would be possible because I wore everything at one point or another. I regret, boy, the first Derby season that I was in a business in Louisville was great because then I got all the colored blazers, right? Because when I got into business, it was the fall and I went to the mall and it was like suits. Yeah. And then, I got Mike Duncan, Teeny's nephew, who was the ring announcer in Louisville for a while and done television for years for Goulis and Welch, worked at a men's clothing store in the Hickory Hollow Mall, and he helped me obtain numerous discounts to get me started with the menswear. But we were dressing me at the time. We were dressing me like, yes, my team, I was a preppy rich kid, of the time, and everything kind of matched it, etc. But then, I'm thinking of Bobby Heenan and I'm seeing Jimmy Hart. And as I got a little more oomph to me, and in the first Derby season, I got a bright red blazer and a bright blue one and the white jacket, because now I've been in the business about 6 months. I'm trying to jazz up a little bit. I'm suddenly a fucking low rent Nick Bockwinkel, maybe in some cases. But I had some color and etc. there. And that seemed to get more heat from the people than me actually being a legitimate, normal looking fucking rich, preppy kid or whatever.
Yeah, see, that's one of the big what ifs to me about your career. What would have happened if, because it's kind of, I guess, 84, 85, where you really kind of went from regular suits and three-piece suits to kind of wearing more flamboyant stuff. What would have happened? Would anything have been different if you had never gone flamboyant?
If I'd never gone flamboyant? No, Barnett and I wouldn't have gotten along as well as.
Well, you didn't get along, so there you go.
I'm just joking.
But if 1988 Jim Cornette, if you were just wearing three-piece suits and nothing that was a standout color, do you think it would have made any difference in your career?
I mean, yeah, actually later on, maybe not at the time, but later on, I don't know that people would have they would have still seen the tennis racket, but I'm always remembered for, wild colors and, and the tennis racket kind of equally. Because it, especially in the buildings we were in at the time, they were big, so you had to be able to see people. Now they're all up close to the rings. You can get a good whiff of them right there up close. But I think it helped because, like I said, it got more heat from the people, and it was something else for them to yell at me, Kmart special or whatever. And actually, if you look back, there was a method to it. Everything matched in its own way. Just, not necessarily what you would see somebody walking down the street, but you can say the same thing for Bobby Heenan's or Jimmy Hart's. And it was there. Jimmy always had the musical notes or the musical instruments or the glitter and the sequin and the piano keys and stuff because he was in music, right? I had the yachting cap was a heat getter, but goddamn, I went through them. I would have needed to buy the factory to fucking keep doing that. It's just ridiculous because they tear up constantly unless you got a real one and then it'd be trashed in a month. But the suit, the wild colored suit from this rich mama's boy was my thing. And then Bobby was, that wild custom made stuff with the glittery bow ties as he got in the WWF. But it was all loud, but it leaned more to each of the individual.